Thank you, Comfort, for the business news. Newspaper review is next on Good Morning Nigeria. Stay with us.
Welcome to the segment, and Chooks the boy. I discovered a new name yesterday for Chukwu Jokodo Buaja. Some of his friends call him C-O-U, and he escaped without giving us a birthday cake. It's cool. And happy birthday.
It was teachers that called me C-O-U more when I was a small teacher in Onitsha. You know, when they want to sound a voucher. COU, have you sounded a voucher? You know these teachers.
They say men don't hide their age.
I was 66 yesterday. Wow. Even though I still bounce around like Chooks the boy.
You still look great.
Because I think like a boy. When I come here and enunciate it, you guys think the parrot is making noise.
Let's utilize our time today. We will talk about this after. Congratulations anyway.
Thank you so much, guys. You talked about me yesterday.
Yes.
Oh, my mother, I hope she tuned in.
Briefly.
We didn't talk about
It's okay.
We just wished you a happy
All right,
birthday.
let's start the newspaper review.
Okay.
Well, we're starting with Daily Trust, and below the nameplate, we have 2024 Tinubu Shetima's trips. Meals to gulp 10 billion naira as villas animals get 210 million naira. Court orders execution of ex-soldier for killing Yobe Islamic cleric. That story is on page 31. COP28, Sheyi Tinubu stewards cooks among Nigerian delegation. The story is on page 8. The Kaduna massacre. Northern leaders, others demand compensation. Resident narrate ordeals. Tinubu orders probe. We're pursuing terrorist military. Your statement insensitive. Shehu Sani, Sanusi, Bamali, others call for calm. Attack product of recklessness. Amnesty International. The story is on page 4, and we have pictures of the different gathering at the burial site, the people mourning and people condoling the families of the victims. Now we move on to the leadership newspaper now, and above the nameplates we have ASU laments exodus of lecturers from public universities. Well, that's not good news.
It's not good.
It's not good at all.
Just that they were talking about the hospital.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Because the universities are a center of research. It's not just teaching academics. They are the ones who bring all the innovation about in society through research.
So if they're not being treated well, that's...
They're such in a way. And when somebody said the other time, train more, graduate more doctors and all. I said no.
Is that easy?
No, it's not. and we said that a surgeon of 30 years standing can never be replaced by even 5 new graduates surgeons.
No.
That's it.
It's
we have to take certain things, really seriously.
Okay, federal government to prosecute gender-based violence in school. That story is on page 7. Then we have this COP28 minister NNPC recommit to lowering methane emissions, and then the budget comments. Presidency accuses Obi of post-election trauma. The story is on page 7. Then the Kaduna bombing. Tinubu northern governors orders demand probe. Military apologizes. Says terrorists disguise as civilians to evade attacks. Request notice of public gathering from residents. That's so as to avoid a future reoccurrence. Imo Supreme Court fines Ozekome 40 million naira over frivolous case. The story is on page 8. Obiagbena to receive Den Lifetime Award. The story is on page 6. Israeli forces kill scores of Palestinians in southern Gaza. The story is on page 4. Claire.
Yes, Demola. I just want to say, just to, again, our hearts and prayers are with the families, of the victims of the unfortunate incident in Kaduna. It's quite unfortunate. Lives have been lost, and the Punch is reporting on its front page the number of deaths so far recorded, and it puts it at 120. It's a death toll hits 120, and villagers allege military bombed twice. Now the riders, only one family lost 32 members. Culprits must be punished. Survivors, ACF, GNI tell military. Army chief begs victims, says soldiers mistook villagers for bandits. Tinubu Atiku mourn. And the pictures on the front page indeed are just not pictures that we would like to show, but again, that's the lead story on the front page of the Punch.
Claire, this is a very sober and somber moment. The handling of this incident is now very, very important. Soldiers thought that civilians were bandits. To err is human, but as we said yesterday, identify genuine targets properly. Make sure your coordinates are well, located. A homing device is the best for putting down bombs. If the plane, it has a homing device, it can target, knowing where the spot to drop the bomb. All these, but sometimes in the theater of war, it's not very easy.
Yesterday, an expert,
it's not very easy.
Yes, a security expert was trying to analyze what could have happened. The first thing he did was to rule out, any form of deliberate action.
Surely not.
Yes,
Surely not.
He ruled that out, and then he went on to say that it could be one that the officer who detonated the bomb was probably a younger officer who got an instruction from and just didn't take time to survey the target, the coordinates, like you say, and then in fact he heaped the blame on the probability of a junior officer handling that aircraft. So the question is,
those are, you don't put outside things for public consumption. You don't, because first of all, we'll ask you, is it a task for a junior officer?
Yes, but that's the analysis. Yes, that's the analysis. It's out there really, and it's not our analysis.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the analysis of a security expert on another, media. But the question is, what can be done to assuage, the feelings of?
Oh, sure.
Yes, that's the most important.
Ultimately, there will be compensation.
Exactly.
There should be compensation. But let us say that compensation is just to alleviate something. It can never replace those people. My people say, when it happens to another man, it seems as if it happened to a tree in the forest. But these are human beings like us. We must show them a lot of understanding.
And then we must also
help the army too.
Exactly.
By pleading for crying out loud. They didn't go out there to...
The army chief has been pleading, and it will take a lot of courage, Demola, for the army chief to openly admit
that
in the face
for a
of
soldier to beg.
So it's
well,
what
sad,
can we do?
But then
what can we do?
it's unfortunate.
May God bring them succor, just as we try in our feeble ways to help as well.
Chukudi, another story at the front page of the Punch is the issue of Ajaokuta steel.
That's a big one.
Claire wants to put me in trouble.
No, I honestly don't want to put...
We have talked so freely on this program.
This Ajaokuta steel has already put us in a lot of trouble. And the trouble is revenue generation, which we should be getting from this. But now federal government is seeking 35 billion naira to revive that.
The first thing you do, you see, after elections, governance takes over, development of the people. What Nigerian administrations should do is not to tell me this is a PDP project or this is an APC project. Government should be a continuity concerning some very vital things. I think that's where the missing link has been.
But I think this government is continuing on that.
Oh, they are. We are saying, dating
Yes,
back
it's
to
a
maybe
continuum.
19 years ago and all that, it should have been something that, is a habit.
Yes,
this government, surely,
yes,
it actually started from Muhammadu Buhari.
Yes,
please, let's be fair.
Because
let's be fair.
all the uncompleted project of the previous
That's
administration, that was where
that should be the spirit henceforth. It doesn't matter what parties in power.
Just to situate the fund being, solicited, the Minister of Steel Development, Shuaibu Audu, during the meeting said that the money and the funding will be used to enable the restart of the light mill section of the Jakarta Steel Plant for production of iron rod to achieve the agenda of the administration to revive Jakarta, of course, in phases. And we know that in the course of Mr. President's visits, global tours, he had also, been striking.
Have you seen the fantastic salesman he has been?
Yes.
I called him a negotiator. You guys thought I didn't know what I was talking about.
So we wish.
He's been doing that all around.
Yes, that's his nature.
Yes, I don't know, Demola, you don't have any story from there, but another one is over 9,000 civil servants failed promotion exam.
Now, I've seen that one, and what immediately
9,000, sorry, 9,000.
What immediately occurred to me was, did they give them mathematics, which would be troubling? I told you I wrote it 3 times and failed it 4 times. So my heart would go out to that. Did they give them mathematics?
I would except for those who are mathematical inclined.
Yeah,
you understand?
No, I'm just
but
putting
basically, all civil servants now are made to do their exams via computer ICT. So it's an ICT
that's a good one.
Based exam.
That's a good one.
You understand? So
that's a good one.
If 9,000, failed the promotion exam, that's a big concern.
At a stage in any career,
yes,
your rise is no longer automatic. You have to. Maybe when you get in as a first graduate, after 2 years, you go to the next step. But you get to a stage, you must write an exam.
Chukwudi, just before we round off, because
yes,
I'm being told to round off, this is very interesting. And the candidates, Demola, were drawn from the core civil service, the Nigeria police, and other paramilitary and specified agencies.
No. Don't go there again. Now let's just take a break.
Are you shielding something?
No. That's our discussion this morning.
PSC has a lot of work to do.
They do.
That's Police Service Commission.
They do.
They have.
We run out of time.
Well,
otherwise, a family is stabbing somebody to death over alleged witchcraft. We have to be careful. We have to be careful. How did they prove it? We have to be careful.
Well, Chooks, that's all we can take on newspaper review this morning.
I think we took a lot within a short time.
Yeah,
really.
we did.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, too.
Thank you so much.
Chooks the boy.
How are you doing?
Can you skip out the studio?
Hey.
I am bouncing back to
we'll be
sector.
right back. Don't go away.
Which ones are MFL? You're welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Good Morning Nigeria, live on the network service of the NTA. We started our conversation on police reforms in Nigeria yesterday. We will continue today. But before we kickstart the conversation, let's take this excerpt by Abdusalam Jubril.
Compared to 10 years back, you would agree with me that there are level of improvement because now you are sanctioned. I will cite 3 instances recently. A commissioner of police, he was manning a command. When we mean command, we mean he was manning a state. I would not mention the particular state, but he was a commissioner of police in charge of a state. And he committed something wrong. And the report came to the commission. And the commission used a big stick on him, reduced him from the rank of commissioner of police to deputy commissioner of police, meaning that he has lost the position to hold that state. One case. There are other cases at the lower level.
The police is evolving just as crime is evolving. And the police, to a considerable extent, is now moving towards community-led intelligence policing.
Okay.
Recently, they set up the new FIB headquarters, a cybersecurity section, and all that. So those are issues that they are using to grapple with the evolving nature of crime. I feel that the police is moving towards that, and they are also handling those issues. But one of the problems of the police is that its best works are underreported, and its worst works are overreported. So that is one of the challenges of the police.
What I urge the police and the Police Service Commission to start doing more is that we need to put more boots on ground. We need to professionally train our men. We need to use technology as a force multiplier. And that training the policemen, they have to be ahead of the criminals. It's not just what we're saying we are interested in, no. Because they must be a step ahead of the criminals. If not, they can't detect and prevent crimes. So I believe that what we need to do is we need to fast-track what we're doing, especially in terms of personnel, recruiting the right caliber of people and putting them more, because the number of policemen that we have are greatly inadequate. They are not there, they're not motivated, and then the amount of resources that they send to divisions, I think the Police Service Commission should start checking on that too, because they are very inadequate.
Welcome back. Our guests are seated right here in the studio, but first let me appreciate Abdul Salam for providing us with those excerpts from yesterday's conversation. So let me quickly begin the introductions. And we have right here in the studio retired Assistant Inspector General of Police. He was in charge of Zone 10 in Sokoto, and he's Muhammad Mustafa. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We also have here a retired Commissioner of Police in charge of the FCT. He's also a lawyer and, of course, a developmental expert. He's a friend of the house, and I should say NTA Good Morning Nigeria's analyst. Let's welcome Lawrence Alobi. Thank you very much, CP.
Thank you for having me, and good morning.
I hope you don't mind.
Not at all.
You are in-house analyst.
Not at all.
So we have to colonize you.
I'm here to serve you.
Thank you.
To serve Nigeria.
Demola.
Also with us in the studio, we have with us Dr. Tony Ojukwu, SAN. He's the Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission. Dr. Ojukwu, you're welcome to Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you, and good morning, Nigeria.
All right, gentlemen, we gladly welcome you and thank you for spending your mornings with us. I know it's not easy, getting up, retired men. But of course, Dr. Ojukwu here is not retired. But thank you, we do appreciate
Tired but not tired.
Not tired, yes. We do appreciate that you could make it this morning. We started this conversation yesterday, and we had, members of the Police Service Commission and also Brigadier General Temlong joined us and all that. So there were issues they raised concerning police reforms and what we can do to reposition the police force. We will be touching on those issues that they raised. But let me begin my question with retired CP, Lawrence Alobi. Institutions, they say, provide some form of stability and help also to shape, the behavior of people within the society. And conversely, the preferences and values and choices that people make also impact on the structure of, those institutions. The police is a democratic institution. Part of its responsibilities is to provide some form of peace and stability. Over the years, do you think that this very important democratic institution has been able to respond to the variances in preferences, in values, in choice of Nigerians?
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, the police is of course, we know, it's the lead agency in terms of internal security, and the nations are built on law and order. Because when there is no order, no nation can survive, even in the family. The police are an institution as provided under Section 214 of the Constitution is meant to maintain law and order. Only the Police Act, Section 4 of the police also stipulates the function, statutory function of the police, which include protection of life and property, maintaining law and order, enforcement of all laws, and also carrying out some military functions as may be directed by the Mr. President or the need as the need arises. So the police is, like I say, is a mother force of this country. And institutions are built on values. You have to have the values that will inculcate in its members. And a society impacts on the institution also impacts on the society. So that kind of symbiotic relationship between the institution and, of course, and also the society itself. And you see that today, most of the moral values, core values of the society have been eroded. And police is also a micro unit of the macro society. And whatever affects the macro society permits the micro society, that with institution. The Nigerian police force is one of the most committed agencies in this country. I can say without equivocation, most committed. No policeman works less than 12 hours in a day. Go to the civil service. Immediately it's 4 o'clock, a cleaner will start cleaning the office, tell God, I want to close. The PEMSEC or the PEMSEC, they'll say, okay, you can go. That culture of sacrifice, of rendering service, of commitment, is not there. They look at their time. And Nigerian society is society where we've imbibed, taken a culture or attitude of my right, not my duty, not my obligation. If we inculcate the culture of service, self-left service to the society, and this is what everybody should have in this country. We don't have to move forward. The police.
Some would just. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
So that we get some perspectives clear. You have talked about commitment of the Nigerian police, and you said that
unequivocally.
Yes. Some would say that is relative.
No, I can defend that.
If you say the police is committed, I mean they work selflessly. To whose in whose interest?
Okay, I can explain.
Yes.
You see, the society, the police is there to serve. It is not profit-oriented service. It's service-oriented. And when you enter service, a policeman is posted to a beat. He'll be there at least 8 hours, 12 hours. And even at midnight, when you are there with your wife on the bed, they call this distress call. You have to leave and attend to that distress call. It doesn't happen on other institutions. You are closed, you are closed. You don't have to bother yourself. You're on duty, you're on duty. But the police, you're 24/7, 24/7, you're on duty. A policeman is fighting the war of crime every day, not until when they go to the battlefront. Every day is working for the society. But unfortunately, we have a toxic society that does not appreciate the police. The Nigerian police force, they sacrifice so much to ensure that law and order is being maintained. They're ill-equipped. If you want me to, you're about to Obetodu, Wolongpa, Abi? Olokpa. So you need to empower the person to give it maximum optimal performance. But the police now is impoverished, is underfunded, is under-equipped, everything is zero. The Nigerian police was the poorest paid police force in the world. I can say it from research. And then they render these services. And they render the service from, like I got to the police at the age of 18, and 69. Age of 18. And I retired 2007. In fact, tomorrow make it 16 years and 6 months tomorrow. And now I've served my country with all my heart, with all my energy, my youthful energy. I'm retired now. I'm being seen to like a leper. Nobody cares about me. So the police need to be motivated, like other agencies, like other institutions. Because if your motivation, like master in theory of motivation, you need to think about physiological needs. For instance, look at barracks, police barracks. You whip. Sometimes ago, your sister agency channel went to Police College Ikeja and saw how the slavish way to police recruit council were being treated. It's not supposed to be so. Everybody has dignity. And the policeman is trained to be dehumanized, and he thinks that is a way out. And when he comes out, he also extends to the society. So the training also helped to equip him to be able to give back to society. I will say unequivocally once again that the police is the most committed Well, anytime you call a policeman, he will respond.
Okay, let's put you on hold. You know, Demola, I started with you. Although I should have started with you because you are a sociologist. Yes, and that's why I wanted to get your reaction. But let's Dr. Ojukwu respond to this aspect of commitment, because you have to deal with a lot of the issues that arise from public concerns about the actions of the police.
Yeah, I mean, with due respect to my professional colleague, CP Lawrence Alobi, I don't think many Nigerians will agree with you. Because, yes, okay, we have police, we have the Commissioner of Police, the Assistant Inspector General of Police, the deputy, yes, those cream of officers, that's not the problem. The police people see is the man on the checkpoint. And what is, okay, you say the man stays 12 hours of work. To whose benefit? He during these 12 hours, all he does is extorting people. All he does is, if you see a young man with an iPhone, in order to embarrass him, you ask him for the receipt. And if he doesn't bring the receipt, he's in trouble. You see him with a laptop, he's asking, well, what are you using laptop for? In this day of age that we are encouraging people to be computer literate, almost everybody works with a laptop now. You are there to protect the people. You open somebody's boot and you see money in the boot, you probably kill him and say he's an armed robber. So that is the police people see, not the Inspector General of Police, not the DA. These are fine officers, cream of officers. When you relate to them, you wonder where they trained, that they trained in Harvard and all that. That's not the police people see. So it is very relative. When you say police is committed, there's no point, there's no argument about that. But then, in an oppressive way, the essence of the police is to protect the right of the people. That's the essence, all of us. But then, when at the end of the day, your everyday action is oppressive of the right of... I want to give you an instance. Somebody reported an uncle of mine to the police. And this was a disagreement over, I gave you money, you used my money, you didn't use my money. Which was a simple complaint you could have made. But then they added that whenever he asked for the money, they threatened his life. And you can see that the whole idea is to make the issue so big that, maybe police will now swing on you and carry you and put you in detention and so on and so forth. So there was no investigation whatsoever. The next thing, you had a team of police officers, they storm his house in the night, they carry him and carry him from Aba to Abuja. So I asked, so if somebody like me now, Executive Secretary of Human Rights Commission, if any Nigerian just writes a petition now to the police about me, nobody will even care to even go and do some elementary checks to see whether there's any iota of truth. The first response will be to arrest me and put me behind bars. The Constitution says you are innocent until proven guilty. But is that how the police look at people? You are guilty, you have to come and prove your innocence. That is why you will see police will go and arrest people on the streets, arrest people at the beer parlor on Friday, and you don't have to bail yourself.
With money.
With money. That kind of policing, and you are doing 12 hours, the people around there will not see you that you are working for them. They will see you as working for yourself. Let's talk about the condition of the police. Terrible. The barracks are not good. There's nothing for them to work with. Maybe you get to a police station, the vehicle there, the tires are bad. There's no fuel to respond to any call. Their boots they buy, their clothes they buy. But that's not good.
Dr. Joko, would you then say, just before Demola brings in, would you then say that the police as an institution is evolving, with because he talked about erosion of, societal values and morals. Would you say that the police institution is also evolving with such changes in values and morals?
That's a valid point, because the police is not from heaven. They are from the society. So if in the society people have no morals, people have no respect for each other, people are wicked to each other, that's the people who are going to recruit into the police. But anyway, a police officer is supposed to be professional. What being a professional is that despite all these surrounding circumstances, you have rules and regulations which have been made for you as a professional, and no matter what it is, whether you are accommodated well, whether you are fed well, whether you are uniformed well, you still do what you're expected to do. But that's not what I say. We are now giving excuses that because the conditions are not good, that is why we are not performing optimally. But where is the condition good? Who's worker? You say the police is the most poorly paid. Other Nigerians, are they well paid?
That's the question.
Are they well paid? Who is well paid?
That's the big question.
Even a chief executive in Nigeria like me, if I tell you my salary now, you'll be shocked.
That's the big question. Thank you, Dr. Tony. Let me just interject you there, and let me bring in former AIG Mohammed concerning the discussion that we have been here having. The issue has been raised, the low morale of the police officers, the issue of, because yesterday, one of the major issues is the professionalism of the police force, the need for the police to be trained and retrained and to be professional in whatever they do. And also they raised the issue of the police being disengaged from the community in which they serve. That the police, that they just bring them from, they can bring somebody from Sokoto probably to a village or community in the south that does not have any, bearing any linkage, or does not even understand their language. That if we have a community policing, it will help to be part of the reforms that should be suggested, to correct some of these anomalies in the police force. What's your take on it?
Well, before I come into this, let me just talk on the Secretary's opinion. You see, we should not look at this issue on a human rights point of view only. It's a whole lot more than that. Police as an institution, the CP has said it. Then the value system within the society, the approach, or even how the police force is being, or members of the police force are being viewed by the members of the society. The society deserves or gets the police that it deserves. So, if you take it, I'm coming to your question.
The problem is that where is professionalism now? Because he talked about the issue of professionalism. As a professional, you should separate yourself from the way the society behaves. If they behave unruly, if they don't have, the morals and all that, you should stand and maintain.
It has been clearly stated. Look at it. The whole reform, we are looking at it. What was the MD Yusuf's reform committee said? Today, to put the police at the minimum standard, we need it. It's like spending 7 trillion naira. Why did you allow, why did the government allow the police to get to this level? There are about 17 committees or over that have been submitting reports and all that. Some of them we had even Pali, even in NIPS recently, they have turned out a very good policy work. They even had a Pali with the president. You understand? Why is it like this? From the president to down, when it comes to this, the police is treated as a necessary evil. Why should it be? Why should the police force in a country, in Africa, is one of the poorest are on? We go outside, we are commended.
Yeah,
Seriously.
Actually,
You
that
understand?
is
So
the question.
this is the issue.
You perform so
Why did
well
you
outside
abandon
the country, but
why
when
do
you
you
come to
abandon
Nigeria,
the police? Why do you allow the police to this level? We cannot just be discussing on the point of, with due respect to him, on the human rights level. The police has its own human rights itself. In the NSAS, we lost 36 police officers.
Do you
Who's
know?
talking about that?
Do you know why we that is also relevant?
Yes, it's relevant. Who's talking about that?
No. Do you know why the point Dr. Jukwu brought is relevant?
Yes.
That is because if you look at what makes a profession professional,
Yes.
it is the knowledge and the specialized training
Yes.
that confers on the professional or professionalism on the conduct and character
Yes.
of those within that profession.
Exactly.
And then if you look at the ethics, that binds the police force or the Police Force Act, there are a number of parameters with which you can evaluate whether or not, the Nigerian police is professional or is meeting its mandate.
Yeah.
Quite a number of them. I just like to read so we know. And then we begin to look at, the source. For instance, in the area of prevention and detection of crime, apprehension of offenders, it's talked, preservation of law and order, protection of life and property, enforcement of all laws and regulations with which they are directly, and so on and so forth. Against all these parameters, I don't, the police, personnel, not the institution, members of the institution, have been scored low. Let me give you a practical example. I just got now. Somewhere in Lagos, someone is using the Google map, to locate his way. And then unfortunately, the Google map misdirected the person and he was apprehended. The police said that he must be made, to face the wrath of the law. I mean, in cases like this, Dr. Jukwu, this is, where the police will show some, yes. So that brings me to the issue, CP, of the quality of people, of members of that institution.
Thank you very much. You see, like my boss, you said earlier that the society will have the kind of policy it deserves. You see, capacity building is key and central. Training, you mentioned about training. One element that actually impacted negatively on the police, that professionalism has not been sustained or promoted, is because funding has been brought to zero level. Funding. And when you cannot be trained, training requires, it's capital intensive. And the content of the training too is also very important. What is the content of the training? You want to talk about community policing. Community policing is just public engagements, citizens engagement. But what is the philosophy behind that engagement? For me, I emphasize on democratic policing. You see, experts in policing have established that the type of government in the country determines the style of policing and the framework of policing. Today we have democracy. When we had the colonial administration, it was colonial policing. Like talk about brutalization, repressive policing, abuse of human rights, and so forth. Later we had the military. Military is ruled by decrees. They come and dismantle all political institutions, the National Assembly, and so forth. But now we're not democracy. The police should imbibe democratic norms and values. And that's what the society also should imbibe. It's like my let's say, Tony said, talked about, they mentioned some instances where some policemen did this. You don't generalize. Even among the 12 disciples, there was a Judas. It doesn't mean to say that all the disciples were all bad.
Of course not. Of course not. You were a fine gentleman. AIG here was a fine gentleman.
I agree. It is
but
also,
we're talking about the rank and file.
The rank and file.
Yes, because that's where you find this.
I came in as a rank and file, and I grew. But it also depends on what values have you imbibed as a person. And the leadership determines followership. The kind of leaders you work with, the kind of people you work with. If you work with an officer who says, I don't tolerate this. When I was in Abuja, I tell my men, as you want your men, your father wanted to be policing your village, that's how you police Abuja. If you're correct, you can work with me. If you're correct, you can work with me. So it is also
okay. That brings to fore the issue of.
You wanted to say something.
The issue of
funding for training,
oversight and accountability. Do you? I mean, how would you say, because that is the mechanism. Do you have the necessary mechanism in place?
Everything is there in the police force. See, the major problem, look at it. Let's just pick one issue. Issue of training is very, very important. Do you know at the time the president of this country, during President Goodluck's time, the police college Ikeja was seen to be, the decadence was so seen, it was carried by channels television. It was so annoying. What happened in the end? It was the military that was sent to go and effect the repairs. The police force has a works department that have graduates, well developed in this country. We know those days. Go to the works department to the police, what they do. It was the military that was sent to go and fix some of this. Is that the right way to go? Fix, you brought in the military because they brought a quotation or whatever that was lower than that of the police force.
Let us even contextualize training.
I'm just looking at it. Is it training? I'm talking about the training.
Yes, let's contextualize
everything
it.
Is there, the manuals are there, everything is there. But the person you are going to put there to train, the trainers themselves, at what remuneration are you putting? Which accommodations are you giving them? What is the level of development and motivation? Yesterday, discussion has gone very far. Tim Long and others have said it. You need to give them the resources, the motivations. You need to train these people, also train them. They are not being happy. They are maybe sent as on punishment to the colleges. You need to take the best brains to go and train them. Then your manuals, then you review them from time to time. Everything is there in the police force.
AIG, I agree with you. I agree with you. We will look at
sustain.
Sorry, please.
If you don't sustain, you allow. Let me come in. You allow a military. The police salary is just like they take like 1/4 of the same rank. With their colleagues.
I want to
in a nation. No, let's handle it very well. In a nation where you bring a disparity.
Just hold on.
Yes,
just hold on.
It doesn't work.
No, just hold on. We will look at the issue of funding. It's an issue.
Yes.
We will look at the conditions.
The trust fund is even there.
Yes, because we're not talking about training, which is paramount.
Yeah.
That for us to reposition the police force, training is very important.
It's key.
Now, I would like you, because you have been there, to contextualize the training content. You are talking about, sometimes when we hear police training, it's maybe use of the gun, go to the range, and then you shoot. But that is not the kind of training in the 21st century that the Nigeria police needs. Am I right?
The 21st century requirements are being taught. The problem is the implementation. I've said it. The person you are putting in the classroom to teach, the person you are recruiting, is very, very important. The recruitment level is okay now. Exactly.
There is pure disconnect between the upper level of the police and the
rank and file.
There are issues of governance, we know.
Because you see, when you recruit people who are not qualified, who are not your best, you don't expect anything to happen. The training is very, very important.
Recruitment today, the requirements to training
is very important.
It's not a problem.
I train every day. That's my life.
Go to the police academy.
I train police every day.
Go to the police academy. You get
Actually,
the best. Even the fast mark.
Okay,
is
sir.
60%.
That was one of the issues that was raised yesterday. The issue of interference.
Yes.
Politicization of the police.
Exactly.
You understand? The politicians, interfering, in the recruitment process of the police. And also, we saw the pictures now of the police carrying their handbag for politicians and all those interferences.
All these issues can easily be contained. All these issues can easily be contained. Look, the question interference is there. Even in the armed forces is there. What is there now? Politicians need a lot of slots to put their men, even in the armed forces. But the military is devising this thing. They are using their command secondary schools, maybe the products from that one, who are already having a background of the military, you understand. They have already been initiated. From there, then the recruits they have. So even if the politicians interfere, very little percent.
Such system?
Police too is trying to cope. We are looking for the best brains actually. The reforms is being carried out, but what we are saying is the level of abandonment. Let's address this issue for long. No
Yes,
argument
yes,
about it.
that's
But
not argument.
that is how
Yes.
every other sector
Exactly.
has also been abandoned. I don't see,
Not
like
to
me
the
in human
extent.
rights, how much I get.
Executive Director, not to the extent
How
of
much do I
the police
get?
force.
The point is, what
Yes.
point we're making is, we're talking about professionalism.
Yes.
What professionalism means is that despite, for instance, let me give you an instance. The IG never told any police officer to collect bribe on the streets.
Yes.
Did he do so?
No.
He never did so.
No.
But that is what he's doing. The IG never told any officer to arrest people that in a way that is not constitutional. The IG never did that. But that's what the police officer is doing on the street.
But do you know that?
So let us face facts.
Yes.
Let us face facts. Training, the right training is being administered. But the people who are getting the training are not acting. The right instructions are being given. Because, for instance, dismantle checkpoints. IG has said it 1 million times.
I don't even know.
Nobody's obeying.
Yes.
IG, yes. IG never told anybody to torture people if you arrest them. I've never seen any IG that did that.
All these issues.
No, sir, let us face that, because let us not put blame where it doesn't belong.
It's not actually blame.
Commissioner of Police Alobida, when he was the CP, did he tell anybody to shoot anybody if he sees something in your boot? He never told so. These officers are on their own, please. They are not being professional, but they are being given the right training.
No, can I comment, sir?
Yes, please.
You see, you talk about capacity building, professionalism. You acquire capacity and professionalism when you are being trained.
Yes.
Now, the policeman there is not being trained, no longer trained, no supervision any longer. The decay in the society, like I said earlier, has permitted to the police as a micro unit. No funds to train them. So it is no supervision. Officers don't supervise them again. In fact, sometimes when I move out, I weep in my heart. I arrest them. Sometimes you see a policeman dressed with slippers, just anyhow. I'll call the commissioner of police.
When you say nobody to train them, I want you to clarify.
I said no funds.
No funds.
For training.
There are things which can be done, and let me tell you, in every police command, maybe there's Monday briefing.
Yes.
There is, all these things are also forms of training where the DPO tells them what to do and where to do.
Yes.
The CP gathers his men every maybe first Monday of every month. Those things are also training because they are being told what to do professionally. It must not be given thorough advance to go to police college and stay 1 or 2 months. That's not only because, like me now, I don't have money to training one officer. If you train one officer, may take you 1 million naira to go and stay 2 months. So I can use Zoom and train people and spend only 200, give them recharge card. And
training can also be knowledge of what the police act says. Some of these officers don't understand, their
protection of human rights. Why will you arrest somebody?
You say you are speaking from outside. We are telling from we have gone through it. We know where the problem lies.
Yes.
We know where the problem lies. The reality on ground, not based on what you think.
How much fund are we looking at?
Reality on ground. You see, when I was grew up as a police officer, we had stations where police vehicles are being fueled. Anyway, on patrol, you fuel your vehicle. We have police workshops, but now you have to go and queue. Sometimes you don't have money to pay for fuel and so forth.
But what is the trust fund about?
The trust fund, I was part of those who fought for the trust fund at the National Assembly.
So what is it being used for?
If I started with this, Mr. Smith, I was then in this operation. So to Arua from Kaduna State, we went round, public hearing. But now it was being hijacked by politicians.
Oh, exactly.
Let me finish. Please, can I finish?
I want to come to the issue of management of resources.
Can I finish?
Okay, I'll allow him to finish.
Let me finish.
Yes, please.
Like I said, I was part of those who fought for that police trust fund right from year 2000. But now, when it was established, the man was chairman. Suleiman was seen like a rubber stamp. He was not to be seen and not to be heard. It was now being hijacked by the secretary. The all powers in the secretary.
Yeah, exactly.
They will go and buy vehicles. They don't know what those vehicles are suitable for operations. You see, so the police have been so over politicized and controlled. And then again, the police itself is a victim of its own cause, its own problem.
Yes.
Is the police ready to get reformed?
Exactly.
That's the problem.
That's
the police ready to reform itself? Sometimes, again, because appointments are made based on parochial considerations. Ethnicity, religion, and so forth. You don't appoint people that have capacity. People have said it. This is what my standard I want, and insist on that standard. It's parochialism, corruption, and so forth. The police has gone down like every other institution in the country.
Beautiful. I want to
tell me why a DPO cannot be given some small money.
Let me come in.
Or why a police station? Why would a police structure be run in such a way that even if it is 10,000 naira for every police station, and it will get to that police station because it's going to be hijacked along the line. Why would a DPO not have a statutory money that automatically is paid directly to him every month? Nobody will interfere.
He said leadership. He said leadership. He said leadership.
Let me come in. I was a commissioner of police. We worked with you here in FCT.
Yes.
There was a time I took a decision at Wiyem Market. I stood by the decisions. That market was built and it was done. Complained to the IG and everybody. We landed, it was from your office. Me and we have to get down to the market.
Yes.
And you saw it. What I took as a decision. And you stood by me. It was the right thing. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is the DPO is not given anything.
Why is it not given?
The system that is
systemic.
It's not there. The envelope budget.
That is internal.
No.
You need to be able to deal with that.
You need to listen to us. You need to listen. So we are the one within. You are looking at it from the outside. DPO is not giving it. I was a commissioner of police FCT. The same thing with him here. How much were we getting? We are not giving anything. Nothing was given to us.
I want to give you an example. When I inherited office,
those days, let me learn.
Those
things when we came in here, I already told you. Every police command has a fuel dump where you drive in and fill your tank and go.
What happened to those dumps? What happened?
All those ones are the decadence. I've already said it at the beginning of this lecture.
Let me tell you them.
Is it not a leadership factor?
It's the leadership in the police.
Abandonment from
the leadership in the police needs to look at itself. Let me give you an example. When I came into office, I have 36 state officers. They were being given 60,000 naira in a quarter. That's 3 months. What can they do with that? They cannot even pay their bills.
At all.
But now, I give them 250,000 naira every month. What is it? My budget, this is priority. The state offices must run.
Sure.
Whatever remains, we can then use it. Police can do the same. Your funding is poor. Yeah, I agree. Whatever is brought as the discipline, because that is part of the decay. If police station cannot have,
how many police stations do you have in Nigeria?
Whatever it is,
you can't.
Just
list it.
You can, because if you proceed from the angle that you cannot
give
money to the police station,
it's not something
then it can never happen. It must be done. Otherwise, the decay will continue. You must give operational money to police station to run, for DPO to run their office, for CP to run their office, for AIG to run their offices. That's the ideal situation. That's the first thing.
That's the ideal situation. But
we must do it. If we don't do it, nothing's going to work.
Yes, don't you have collaboration with state governments and local governments? I mean, to assist, because
state governments can buy vehicles for you.
Yes, they do buy vehicles.
Sometimes they don't even run the fueling and the servicing.
Yes, because many state, like Lagos state government, for instance.
The trust fund is working.
Big trust fund.
Yes, the trust fund is
for
working.
The police in Lagos.
Of course.
They've bought several vehicles for them. There are many units that the Lagos state government fund. Directly.
And invariably, the crime has gone down in Lagos.
Yes. It is when the government appreciate the importance of security.
Okay.
Section 14 of the Constitution provides that prime purpose of government, security and the well-being of citizens. Section 14, primary function of government.
Yes.
But it seems that now some of them now don't see, like some government say, I think you said the police under federal government, federal government. You don't give vehicles, nothing, nobody. How do you maintain the vehicles? How do you put the vehicles? And so forth. Not just donating vehicles, but ceremony give 40 vehicles. I mean, a DPO should have no less than 3 vehicles. But they don't have that. Like you said, leadership is also important.
It's very important.
But leadership, one thing is that leadership in the police too has a problem.
Yes.
How to say, how to say that?
And that is why I'm
What's the guarantee now that if you send this money to the police, it will be utilized?
Let me come in here.
From the budgeting system, the police was not even given. Look at the defense, check the security and defense fund.
See, we're not, sorry.
If you remove health and
AIG,
education now,
AIG,
I think the next
AIG,
is health and defense.
Yes, AIG. I don't want us to bring this comparative, comparing. Yes, every service has its own specific mandate and challenges. So let us look at the Nigeria Police as an institution.
Yes.
And the purpose of this conversation is to see. It is part of the reform, processes. There have been reform committees, judicial panels, and this is the kind of conversation that happens, within those committees, and and that is why they have not been implemented. Yes. Because he's trying to make a suggestion, and AIG, you are not agreeing to it, because you need to collaborate with the civil society, the human rights groups. You need to cooperate with these people to be on to kind of mainstream ideas. So we've identified leadership, we've identified internal decadence, and why I'm emphasizing that is because if you look around, I can remember in Rivers State, in the days of Dr. Peter Odili, I know the number of vehicles, donated to the police. But before, in a twinkling of an eye, practically speaking, or literally speaking, those vehicles have recently Dangote donated vehicles to the police. Have you seen those vehicles?
Those vehicles are there.
Most of them are
Dangote's own is there.
They are, I can tell you. So again, the character and quality of the people matter, and that is why recruitment is not number one issue that must be looked at.
You see, like I said, leadership is unfollowership.
Yes.
If a leader is upright and in his own...
Let us look at the recruitment of the position of the IG.
You see,
how is it? Yes.
You see, I was in Scotland Yard when they appointed Chief of Police in the year 2000. I went on course there. Here in Nigeria, recruitment of IG is based on whom do you know? Parochial considerations, ethnic consideration, not based on capacity and competence. That's the problem. He comes there, no plan. You cannot function without a plan. I've advised to my letter of IG. I said, look, that we have national security strategy. We need to have a national policing strategy and framework. But now policing is an all-commerce affair. Nobody knows what to do. Nobody knows what boundary, nobody knows what to do. If we have a national policing strategy and framework, it will now state what the police ought to do and what the police not ought to do, and what is expected of the leadership, accountability in terms of accountability. Like you asked, we should have oversight function. Oversight function is ought to be there. Police Service Commission ought to oversight the police. Look at what happened some years back. Police Service Commission and the leadership, the IG were fighting. Why should it be so? It's supposed to be so. What are they fighting for? What did that person interested to have?
Let's
concern about the upliftment of the standard of the policing, professionalism, competence, and everything.
Yes, you have CP. You've talked about. You say that the position office of the IGP is selected. I mean,
it's over-politicized.
Yes, but the Constitution says that the the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has the prerogative. Is that not what it is?
But does the police council?
The police council is there.
On the recommendation of the
police council confirms the appointment of the IG. The president will come and appoint him as acting, and then the police council, which includes the first heads of states, the chief justice, governors, and all that. Look at the composition. They come and confirm.
Has it been happening?
Every IG,
do they ever meet?
has just been
They don't ever meet. They only meet when they want to confirm.
They want to come and confirm. You sit down.
Because the police council itself, the president of the Federal Republic is chairman of the police council.
For the purpose of
should the police council be rejected?
Of course.
Yeah, it should.
Yes.
Of course. You see,
the recommendation of the reform.
The part of the reform. You see, the point is that the government itself hasn't got the willpower to do something. They have not the real willpower.
Because that is the problem.
Because they have the willpower. We have gotten over 7, even the last NSAS presidential report. It's there.
Yeah.
Nothing has happened.
Nothing.
You have MD Yusuf report.
125 recommendations for MD
Party of Scientists report.
135.
We have so many reports.
How many
They are
have you
there. The police said, if the police is determined, leadership of the police is determined to reform itself.
Why is the recommendations not being
125
The weakness, they
recommendations.
don't have the
Why
will.
are
They
they
don't
not
have the
being
will. They
implemented?
don't have the will. Some IG feel that when they do some of these things, their power will be reduced. Okay,
So we should wake up from the abandonment of
That
this,
the
police,
of the police force.
I need us to take a position on the state of the police council.
See,
So that as we are going, we are having some takeaways
So
from
our
this
position
program.
now, our
Yes.
position on the police council is they should not just come for the confirmation of the IG.
Should be a rubber
And
stamp.
go with rubber stamp.
There should be
They
some
don't do
questioning.
it. First
There
heads of
should be
state.
some-
Yes.
Can they analyze who is the IG?
Yeah.
What he is doing? They just come, they call them around, sit down, then you confirm
What plan
somebody
have you- the
and
IG
go
has?
away. All these recommendations that we are talking about, nobody is talking about. Even some of the commander-in-chiefs are compromised.
But even the recruitment process.
Yes,
of
we're coming to that because we're taking
of
it
the
from
IG,
top. Yes.
the recruitment process of the IG, is it transparent?
That's the point.
Even I mean, there is a challenge in recruiting leadership in this country.
There is. Seriously.
Who recommends to the president? What process? Is there any transparent process? Like Commissioner Lobi said, the competent people that are qualified for the position, let us say you are going to select that now from AIGs and DIGs.
Yes.
Is there any transparent process?
Criteria.
Who among the AIGs or DIGs that is selected?
So there should be a selection framework.
There should be a selection framework.
framework.
Stakeholders should be involved in this.
Yes.
In the selection process, so that whoever emerges, because if they have done a thorough job and recommended the right person to the police council,
Then we'll take it from there. Another issue that I want us to look
Let
at
us
is the
bring up
tenure.
one serious issue.
Yes, sorry, sir.
One other serious issue. Let me come in.
Yes.
Like the armed forces, they are not doing this contributory, what do you call it, the pension. Why did you, in the first place, excise these people, left the police force that have over 400,000 personnel, and their lives? The police force is even more scared than the military now.
But
Why do you?
Without the leadership of the police?
Yes, you have to have the leadership.
Don't you have a
The
national policy?
leadership that will move.
National security policy?
No. For instance, now.
Don't you have don't you have a national security policy
every-
that you remove? You do these things together, the armed forces and the police. These are the people that keep the nation.
Yeah.
Okay, let us.
Your policies decisions should be.
Sorry, AIG.
Don't you have
Let's ask
inputs
this: why
into
did
all
you
these
do this
policies?
now?
You see,
Do you know
okay.
that?
Don't you have
Do you know that
inputs into all these
some retired
policies?
officers are getting 20,000 now?
My Singh knows
a month?
better.
20,000
The law of
naira.
equity says,
You don't have-
who does equity protect?
With somebody with clean hands.
The clean hands, it must be also be not the indolent.
Okay,
That's why the police have slept over their right.
Exactly. So let us look at another recommendation of one of those panel is the tenureship of the AIG, of the IGP.
Yes.
Yes. The one of the panelists recommended a single tenure of 4 years. I think
It's not possible today because you know
By
why?
the time you get
By
to
the time you get to the position you select at the ranks of AIGs
AIG upward.
and DIG, let's say.
But the police commission
And
now
he's-
is making a recommendation
man-
of the
I'm
police.
coming. I'm
yes.
coming. The man that we are appointing is just having maybe 1 or 2 years. It's practically not possible for now, unless you get back to maybe you have like-
CP,
probably a CP. And in this case now you are wiping off
a
All
whole
the
lot of
AIGs.
a lot of
and
trained
DIGs.
officers.
Yeah.
So it's extremely difficult. Even if you are going to give 2 years, it's okay.
So
2
what
years
can
you
be done?
can make an impact as IG. You understand?
Yeah, because you grew through the system, really.
Exactly.
I mean, you are not coming from outside.
No, not at all.
Why
Exactly.
do you
So it's
have
not
to?
possible.
Yes, I agree that with 2 years.
As long as you have
2
like 5
years.
years to
If-
Two
serve.
years single term
Or 3 years
2
at
years
most.
single term
Single
or
term.
renewable.
No, because when you retire, you can no longer be.
When you try, you just go.
So
that
once
that
you
has even a
decide-
lot of impact
yes,
on this one.
yes.
And many of them, when they come, they are looking for tenure elongation. They don't want to go. They will start lobbying all this. So all these things should not
For
come.
instance, I want to give
If
you
you
an
have
example.
6 months,
I want to give you an
serve as
example.
6
You can
months
make
and
an
leave.
impact
Yes.
because having grown from the system,
Yeah.
you know the issues.
Definitely.
Like when Sola Arase was the IGP, that's what we used to discuss them within intelligence-led policing. where if a complaint is made, you do some rudimentary investigation
before.
And that is why I was lamenting that.
Which is what he's doing now. I think there's the police service complaints unit has been introduced. Yes.
So what we are saying is, if you do some rudimentary investigation, then you eliminate so many people from being detained in the custodial centers. Because if the first thing you do is to go and arrest somebody, his detention has started. Whereas if you do some rudimentary investigation, you may say, okay, this does not even warrant to be here. You weed off all that.
Well, Neki, let me explain that. It's an environmental factor. You see, like in Europe, America, where people carry out preliminary investigation before arresting somebody. Here in Nigeria, you need somebody to get the wind that, oh, this matter.
It runs away.
It runs away.
No.
It runs away.
You understand?
We cannot, because of that, violate the law, because we must also act in line with our constitution. Preliminary investigation is in line with the constitution, which says somebody is deemed innocent until proven guilty. When you arrest before investigation, you have already started subjecting the person to guilt and consequences.
No, arrest is not conviction.
No. Arrest has some element of hardship and suffering to it.
No, but you want to explain this offense.
Okay.
No, we do. Let me come in.
Just a moment, sir.
Yeah.
Come and explain. Okay, I go back to my house after the explanation.
Okay, just a moment.
That's why you're giving bail.
Just a moment, sir. We have examined some of the major challenges.
Yeah.
When we come back from break, we'll look at how we can address some of these challenges.
Yeah.
Stay with us. You're welcome back. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria, and our conversation today is on police reform. And we still have our guest in the studio. We have examined the challenges, varying challenges from the lack of inadequate funding to professionalism and training, ineffective coordination, and all that. So let's start with the issue of
budgeting.
Or
budgeting for
funding.
Transparent budgeting.
How do we address this challenge? Let me start from Dr. Tony. What would you suggest?
Thank you very much. We have all agreed that there's need for adequate funding of the Nigerian police.
Yes.
However, what is more important is how the money will be utilized. So our own proposal from the human rights angle is, if you're budgeting for people, they should be able to benefit. Nobody should be able to hijack the process. That means the budgeting of the police should take into consideration the police station, the DPO, the area command, the CP, and so on and so forth. And their money should be able to go to them directly. Because there's no guarantee now under the present budgeting of the police that even if you increase the money of police twice, that the DPO or the police station will get their money directly.
Should the police be removed from the payment structure? Because AIG Mustafa, alluded to that earlier on. Is it the yes?
Yeah, pension scheme.
No, not the pension scheme.
Is that what you said?
The contributory. Okay. Yes.
They should be removed.
Yes.
Why shouldn't they be in the contributory pension scheme? All of us are in the contributory pension scheme.
No, it's for national security. The armed forces, you have already excised them.
Well, let's not be because they must have provided some reasons that made them to be removed. The armed forces is not the same with the Nigerian police. Everyone has its own peculiarities, and everyone has what works for them. What I'm saying is, whatever pension the police is operating, the input was made by the police.
Do you know on what basis they were?
The police made its own input.
Okay, you've made your point. CP Alubi, what do you think about that?
It's not about...
Because you're an insider, both of you.
I was inside.
Now you're out.
But I'm now partially inside too.
Okay.
But when the commissioner police a commissioner point, you leave this motor
on the pension, contributory pension scheme.
It is sad. If I tell you how much I'm being paid as a commissioner of police, you will not believe.
Tell them, you'll get
from constable, from commissioner to constable, it is very
bad.
But I don't want to say because some others I'll lose my People say, so you are so poor like this. I don't want to say it.
You are not poor in spirit.
I'm not poor, no, but I'm a very blessed man. I'm not poor. I'm not saying
Exactly.
I'm poor. But what I'm saying that the system itself.
No, but it's good for the people to know. If we are going to make progress, it's good for Nigeria.
Do you know a commissioner of police knows about 80,000 for
How
position?
much?
80,000
naira. As a
Can you imagine that?
Is that the living?
After serving 35 years.
For commissioner of police was.
And it is the police leadership that causes problem. The police leadership exercise from commissioner downstairs. The 1979 constitution recognized 2 ranks: the IGP and the commissioner of police of a state.
Yes.
But now the police itself causes problem to itself.
Exactly.
Those IGs were there. That's the leadership is a problem in the police.
No, it's national.
So if the leadership stands up for what, if the leadership stands up for what it ought to be, leadership is not all who controls, who dominates. That is who imparts on the people. Who imparts and add value to the life of the people, life of the institution.
So what's your take on that?
My take up is
police should be removed?
The police should be removed. Okay. Because you need to let us reap for the benefit of our services.
Okay. So
I shouldn't be impoverished because I serve in the police force.
Okay. You had already made your point on that. So your position on that is already clear.
It should be paid.
Yes. Let's look at another very important. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Demola. Yes. Arm of the police service reform. You know, when we talk about decentralization, a lot of people, you know, interpret it differently. Decentralization in the sense that each state has its own police and controls its own police. You know,
Claire, I am fully in support.
And also the states can also decentralize. We have
state, local government police. I want to give you an
what's the position of the human rights?
During the former times, we had even these forest guards who were at the local government level. The forest guard made sure that the bushes and forests in the local government were crime-free. Today, the greatest challenge of security in this country is that the bandits are in the bush.
Ungoverned areas.
The Boko Haram people are in the bush, and we don't have the expertise to deal with. We are on the highway. If the local government police or the forest guards were still in place, we won't have this vacuum. There is no vacuum in life, because those places were left vacant. The criminals have gone to occupy them, and they terrorize us every day. So state police is the answer. Local government police is the answer. Now, people have raised a lot of issues. Oh, governor will hijack it and all his enemies will be killed. And I say, a governor will have, let's say, 5,000 enemies in the state. Are those people more important than the 2 or 3 other million Nigerians in the state? It's not like that. Is the federal government is the president using his position now as the person who appoints the IG to attack all his enemies? You know, it doesn't work like that.
You know, we use some terms, I know, adjectives to qualify governors now. Some people say they are emperors. Some say they are this. I mean, given the disposition of state executives at the moment, do you still think this state police is feasible?
It is very, very feasible. And that's the only way to control crime in this country. Because let me also give you an instance. All the people who are coming here to talk to us, America or Britain, or which of them is using one single police?
That is the question. That's the big question.
AIG.
Somebody came from England to train us on community police. I said, in your place, are you doing community police?
Yeah.
I said, please, you don't have the capacity to train me.
We are not matured for state police.
Why? Mature? Why more than mature for state police?
How many of the states are paying even the minimum
When
wage?
you say matured, how? In terms of what?
It can be misused. For now, the politicians that we have, the emperors they are going by, they will use it. We are police officers. The police force is widespread everywhere in Nigeria. We are covered it. The only thing now what we are saying is increase the manpower requirement, train them very well, give them the equipment, modern equipment. Technology is the way to go. You know, then all these ungoverned areas, put them there. The mounted troop is there. The dock is there. Dock section. Are you utilizing them well?
These
are the reforms. 125 reforms we're talking about. You understand?
Exactly. Let's sit here and look.
Yes. Okay, I want you to also.
What's your view?
Today. What's your view?
You say all along I had always advocated against state policing, but now in the way it is now, state policing is inevitable.
Inevitable.
I'm to say it's inevitable. Because crime is localized.
Yes.
When during Babangida they said officers from the rank of DSP to constable should go back to their state. I'm from Ikom, my hometown. I was this year Ikom. There was a crisis. Even that because I was an indigene. There was a crisis when they called mirror man. The mirror man will tell people that he can, if somebody dies, go and tell you who killed your brother or your father. Used to kill people everywhere. My DPA was not from Ikom, was a man from Benue. When the police, you attack the police, seized their rifles. He said, "When go kill the fire." I said, "Don't fire." I went and talked to my people. They brought back the arms. So it is that confidence and trust. If you go there and serve the people, win their hearts and minds, they will
Constables
support
are
you.
being posted now to their states.
Yes, you know,
for the past 10 years or so.
That's
Constables are being posted back to
from the community.
Yes,
Yes.
now.
And they are alienated from the community. From the
Now,
community.
let me give you another example.
Yeah.
Police work depends a lot on intelligence.
Yeah.
They're not magicians. They depend on
The community.
Okay, now.
And you don't
these
speak their language. You don't.
These criminals are in the bushes.
Yeah.
They don't use the main road. They use the track routes.
Yes.
If policemen from my village are part of the police in my village, they know all the corner roads. They know the bushes.
It's being
they know where
implemented
to
now.
hide. Everybody will be combed out.
You know, Dr. Juku,
It's being implemented now. You go back to their
yes,
states after training
some
now.
people-
This
some-
is what is being practiced
Some
now.
people say that the way the police, is structured, the institution is structured now, is just a replica of our colonial structure. Where you bring in people from other, states,
Colonial people.
Yes, to suppress
Yeah.
and other. And are saying, look, let us go back to doing state police. But I understand your concern, because even if you look at what is happening at state houses of assembly autonomy, local government autonomy now, the state governors.
It's all attitude. To every Nigerian.
Yeah, with time,
Attitude
maybe
is
with time,
key.
but now.
Attitude.
Yes.
Let me say this. You see, you cannot born a child today and you expect that child to enter university the same day. We have even the federal police that we have been practicing since independence, have they become perfect now? We cannot create state police today and we expect it to be perfect today.
Okay, let's ask
And there are rules and regulations. When we create the state police, some people have even raised the issue, conflict between the federal, state, and local government police. But these are issues that can address by law. If we decide today that we want to have federal police, state police, and local, we sit down and say, okay, these are your boundaries. For instance, if president is coming to the state, this is how it's going to happen. If a governor is done, that's how it's done here. We create the pressure here that will not work. Who said so?
Because already you have that mentality that it will not work. So it will not work.
Negative thinking.
Yes.
So it will work. Governors will not pay. Governors will pay.
Until you change that mindset,
It's
it will work. Now let's move to the other issue now. The issue of moral and the low moral of the motivation for the police officers. How do we address that?
You see, mass law in theory of motivation talked about physiological needs, social needs, extreme needs.
Yes.
The police itself, this one is caused by the leadership. I would say that I was there for 25 years. When I was CP command, I had my values. And everybody had to keep to my values. Leadership examined followership. The moral in the police is at decay because the leadership itself has not been able to understand this is what we want. Even if I can be among thieves and I will not steal. Yes. If I have that value, I can imbibe that value, moral value. So it is when we have to inculcate, and one thing that is like in the police training, the content is also, I have always advocated emotional intelligence. Let it be one of the key subjects that we taught to every policeman. Emotion, because police deal with emotions. Someone who is angry, committed crime, how do you control their emotion? Putting empathy, compassion, and so forth. Are you there to serve? The police is a service-oriented job. You need to serve. But now it has been like commercialized. Mobile. I was mobile for 7 years as a constable. Mobile police are now attached to big men. I wasn't attached to any big man.
That's the problem.
Okay, we just have a few minutes left.
So they need to be motivated in terms of their welfare, their training, their offices, their accommodation. And the police, like I said, go to Airport Road, you go and see DSS barracks. They have an hospital that is so well equipped. No hospital well equipped. Go and see police cantonment. I went there, I wept. When I was living there, I wept when I saw it.
It's in Lagos?
No, here, Abuja.
Yeah.
Please come tell me here, Abuja, near FCDA.
So if you have this kind of situation in Abuja, how would you describe it in the
Honestly,
States?
it's embarrassing and shameful.
It is really
Leadership is always the problem.
AIG, do you have anything
Yes,
to
on
ask? to
this.
In terms of logistics, all this is the needs. Let's go back to the basis. What we used to have, build all this in these structures, bring them back, like he has said it. The funding, let the money funding trickle down. With the little you can do something, and then the police reform, police trust fund should be effectively utilized. All these equipments that we lack should be provided, and the emphasis on training and retraining.
Okay,
For me, the problem of the Nigerian police is the federal structure. You know, for instance, everything must come from Abuja. That decentralization of power is not there.
Yes, we've agreed. We've both of you are on the same page.
Even in infrastructure.
Yes.
Because if you empower a CP and he has enough money to build it up, but the person in Abuja will want to give the contract for building the police station or the barrack.
CP has no say.
So that is it. You know. So the federal thing is the problem. You must decentralize power and give each level the money to carry out their function.
How do we do that? How do you go about that in just a sentence?
From the budgeting.
Constitutional.
From the budgeting. Even from the constitutional. Of course, the reform should say that police should now be on the concurrent list. And then that the budgeting structure should be such that all the levels we budgeted for. That should be the structure of budgeting.
And
not
they are funding direct.
Exactly. Not maybe on boots. If there are money for boots, you give it to central. They say no. Money for boots should be given for all the levels.
Okay, we'll look at the last leg, which ordinarily should have been the first, which is on the recruitment. And I know yesterday we had, I think that the PSC, the director. Commission. Yes, was here.
Yo and General Kemlong.
Yes, we gave us information of what the PSC is doing right now, that Police Service Commission, about recruitment, reforming the recruitment processes of rank and file. I don't know, what do you think about that? Because
now, see, we are lucky now. We have a very vibrant chairman of the Service Commission who is experienced and a humble man who is very knowledgeable. He wants to reform the system. And I think the way he's going, things will change. That's what I said. You see, like I always said, leadership determines followership. If a leader has his principles and stamps out what he wants to achieve, it will be achieved. From the ladder from the base to the apex. What they are doing now is that it is initially, in fact, they made a statement. The issue of recruitment, even like we just concluded the cadet polar training, say no question of where politicians bring list. You have to be based on who is qualified. Qualified based, and then also the issue of state representation. Because sometimes you see some state will have all the candidates 80% from one state. Maybe because the IG or the minister or the permanent secretary or whatever. But now it has to be based as equity and fairness that has to be observed. So I think with that said there, and of course this IG2, Kayode is a level-headed officer. There are some who feel their rank goes into their head. They don't even respect their seniors any longer. But he's a humble officer who also believes that we should work together with Arase. Not sure of where the Police Service Commissioner and the IG are fighting. They have a common purpose, common objective, to come a common goal for the good of the society and the police force.
Okay. I think
IG.
Yeah, the recruitment at the academy is now okay, no problem. So the one for the recruits, that's the one we recruit from all the states. I think we should check very well. We should go back and check very well, because those places, I think there are some gaps.
I think the level of qualification.
At the states.
I think the level of qualification of the rank and file should come up a little.
That is the rank and file.
So I don't see why graduates, because overseas that is what it is. People are educated. Because we're talking about training, we're talking about professionalism. Your ability to even appreciate these things helps.
Yeah,
so
the level
exactly,
of your exposure, your education.
The nature of the duty of a police officer is a very serious assignment. How much
do you pay the graduate when you take
No, you pay him appropriately.
Yes.
You pay him appropriately. You will not employ a graduate.
No, but they were like the issue of rank and file. holding first degree, second degree has also been an issue, a problem.
It's a very problem.
Yes, because you find a rank and file with first or second degree, you know, going to court to represent the Nigerian police. Isn't it?
We should still get.
Well, we have agreed now that all prosecutors must be lawyers.
Lawyers,
you know. So I think police has gone done well on that in collaboration with the Attorney General. So most all prosecutors now should be lawyers.
But there's some lawyers who are rank and file too. They are prosecutors.
Yes.
That they call it the system and not be able to elevate them to the appropriate position.
So these are the things
but the recruits can still maintain what we have. But
Okay.
let's look at the grades.
Okay.
And then also make sure that they can. These are people who can. They are trainable.
Yes, they're trainable. That's the point. That's why the recruitment level is very, very critical.
Okay.
Well,
go ahead.
Thank you so much. It's been a very fascinating discussion this morning. Wish we had more time, but we need to just conclude this conversation right now. Thank you very much. Let me start with AIG Mohammed Mustafa, retired. Thank you very much for coming on Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
And also the retired CP Lawrence Alobi, who is also a development expert. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you for inviting me.
All right. And also Dr. Tony Ojukwu, SAN, Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission. Thank you for coming to Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right. We now take our foreign news now.
Saudi Arabia, the United States, and African mediators have indefinitely suspended talks between the Sudanese Armed Forces SAF and the Rapid Support Forces RSF in the port city of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. The talks were halted because the two parties failed to honor their commitment to implement confidence-building measures and withdraw military forces from key towns. Although the joint mediation of the African Union, the United States, and Saudi Arabia has not officially announced the suspension of negotiations, it remains deadlocked. On 7th November, the two parties reached an agreement defining measures to facilitate humanitarian access to civilians. They also agreed to implement confidence-building measures, in particular to allow the arrest of former regime leaders who have escaped from prison, in reference to the main leaders of the ousted regime of Omar al-Bashir, who escaped from detention centers at the start of the war and joined the army. Launched on 15 April, the war between the Sudanese army, led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces RSF of General Mohammed Hamdani Daglo has left more than 9,000 people dead and displaced more than 6 million. Chest high waters surged down the streets of India's southern city of Chennai, with 8 people killed in intense floods as Cyclone Machang made landfall on the southeast coast. The cyclone hit the coast of Andhra Pradesh state as a severe cyclonic storm with winds up to 100 kilometers an hour, the Indian Meteorological Department has reported. Cars were seen floating on raging torrents in Chennai, homes were flooded, and a crocodile was spotted swimming the streets in the city. People in some parts of the flooded city used boats to get out of their flooded neighborhoods to the safety of government relief shelters.
All right, let's take a quick look at the world of sports. And of course, Arsenal beat Luton yesterday 4-3.
Record African champion Super Falcons survived an early onslaught from Cape Verde to beat the island nation 2-1 on Tuesday and qualify for next year's Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco on 7-1 aggregate. A second-half goal from substitute Esther Okoronkwo and a late stoppage time winner from captain Rasheedat Ajibade ensured that the Falcons won the last phase of the qualifiers 2-1 after the emphatic 5-0 win in the first leg in Abuja last Thursday. The win means Nigeria have qualified for every edition of WAFCON, with Morocco 2024 the 15th time the tournament would be held. Nigeria are the most successful nation in the history of the tournament since it began full scale in 1998, winning 11 of the 14 editions so far. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Cricket Federation has released the final roster for the senior women's cricket team with 14 players as well as 2 others on standby for their 2024 ICC T20 World Cup Africa qualifier, which will be played from December 7 to 17 in Uganda. Longest serving and most experienced player in the team, Blessing Etim, will lead the team as captain as the female Yellow Greens arrived Lagos on Tuesday ahead of their departure to Uganda.
All right, Demola, I forgot to also mention, I'm a very patriotic, I'm proudly Nigerian, so I was very happy yesterday. The female football team beat Cape Verde 2-1 on their own soil and 7-1 on goals aggregate.
Kudos
So
to
congratulations to all of you. And it's on that happy note we'll round up Good Morning Nigeria for today. We thank you for watching, and do try and appreciate any policeman you see on the road. Indeed, police can be our friend.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's all we have for you this morning. Thanks for being there. My name is Ademola Adeoye.
And I'm Claire Adelabu Abdulrazak. Bye-bye.